My first, I would say, experience with that or memory of that when I was a child, I remember it was a thunderstormy. It was like lightning and raining, really, really bad. And I grew up with all women, my mom, my sister, and my grandmother. And my grandmother wasn't there at the time. It was just my mom, my sister, and I at this time. And I may have been 6 years old, I believe. And like I said, it was raining really bad and thunderstorming, and I was scared. And so I tried to go into my mom's bed with her and my sister because my sister was already in bed with her. And my mom said, I never said this. My mom said, you know, you're going to be a man one day. You got to, you know, be able to handle this or whatever. You got to be okay with this. I was like, okay. And, you know, I went back to my room, but I still remember that to this day vividly. So I remember a lot. So that was my first recollection of gender roles. With catcalling, I'll start with myself first, since you know that's what I can control. And I have catcalled a woman before. When I was immature, when I was younger, when I was ignorant and didn't understand how it could make someone feel. I've never done it when I was with my friends. I'm sorry, when I was by myself. I had only did it when I was with my friends, which I think is a interesting thought. I don't know many people that I don't know many women that would catcall by themselves. Uh, and I know men will catcall by themselves, but I never catcalled by myself. To me, when I had did it, it was always like to be a part of the boys. You know, to be I'm with my homies right now. I'm hanging out. It was and I thought at that time it was never derogatory. I was like, well, I'm not calling her out of her name. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But to approach her via her exterior, you know, and speak to that uh, was wrong. And so I definitely want to start by saying I was wrong myself. Uh, and then when I've been catcalled, like I said, it happened today, just 10 minutes ago. Uh, I've been in Mexico for about 6 days now. It's happened 3 times since I've been here. And for me personally, I I dismiss it completely. 90% of the time, 9 out of 10 times, I don't even respond. Uh, and the only time I would respond is probably when I'm in a closed setting to where I can't keep walking. And at that moment, I'm like, I'm a good, thank you, bye. Uh, I, you know, it's funny because I was in the military and I was deployed one time. And when you're in the military, I feel bad for the women because there's not that many women in the military whatsoever. Like, if the United States military is only 1% of the United States, within the military, women must represent like 1%. It's a really small number. Don't quote me on that, but it's a small number of women. And when you're deployed, you're normally gone for 6 to 12 months, and you're not supposed to have uh, sexual relations with nobody. And so there's a lot of tension built up. And in the Cadillac or the room where you get your food, I'll say it without using military vocabulary. The room where you get your food, you have to walk this long hall. And I vividly remember and knowing, man, I feel bad and for the women that walk through here because the guys are just gawking. I mean, it's like a, a fresh piece of meat for a lion or an alligator or a shark or something. And I remember telling my homeboys that I was with, I was like, bro, she must like, I know she just don't like this feeling right now. And we weren't like catcalling her whatsoever. We weren't even really looking at her. We were just having our own conversation. But it's just, I think at that moment, I was 21 years old. At that moment, it really hit me because nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. And to the fellas out there, to my man, if you want her attention, how about you be respectful? Because that's how you're gonna stand out. Like if you want to stand out and get her to notice you, just be respectful, huh? That's what I would say. I told my cousin that about college. uh, and then, yeah, those are the three pieces. How I feel when it's happened to me, well, how I feel when it's happened. I told you what I do, but how I feel, honestly, I it's possible and just move about my day. I think I'm in an elevated place mentally to where I don't allow negativity to even enter. So that's energy that I don't want to give. I don't want to give to that energy. So it's like Bruce Lee, wax on, wax off, and I keep moving. I can't be wrong for telling my friends, hey, bro, stop talking about X body part. Like, I'm not going to be wrong. If they think I'm wrong, dude, wow, I haven't thought of this until just now, actually. One of my best friend from high school, we were no longer homies no more because of the way he talks about women behind their back. Literally, that is the number one reason. I've never said this before. That's the number one reason that we are no longer friends. Is because of the way he talks about women behind their back, and it pisses me off. Like you can hear in my voice, I get annoyed, so annoyed with him. I couldn't be around him. We would talk about it, of course, and I would speak to it. I wasn't silent because silence is acceptance. Uh, but he just, it was too much. I was like, dude, you're an asshole. Like, you were just so wrong. Like, and I mean, I remember us at the barbecue in San Antonio, Texas, and I broke it down right there. And I kind of went off on him, like, stop calling women bitches. Uh, and he wouldn't even say it. In his eyes, it wasn't derogatory. It was like just a name placement, if that makes sense. And then it wasn't just the word, it was strictly objectifying, like only objectifying. Women were only here for one reason. And that just pissed me off. I get annoyed thinking about it right now. I haven't thought about this until now, but dude really pissed me off. I don't like that. I actually, I'll tell the story. I remember I have group chats. We all, I'm sure, have group chats with different groups of friends. And one of my group chats, it's my two older friends, and they both have kids. They both have daughters. Actually, all my best friends have daughters, and and I'm the only one that doesn't have kids. Uh, and one of my friends, he had said something. It wasn't catcalling to her, like to her face. He had said something just in our group chat. Um, and he said to himself, or to the group chat, he said, I gotta stop talking like this. He said, I have a daughter. Like, in the group chat, you could write something and then you could write again before anyone else sees it. That's what he did. He was like, man, I gotta stop talking like this, bro. He's like, I got a daughter. I'll beat somebody's ass for talking about my daughter like that. And we just laughed and was like, yeah, bro. And but that's my circle. That's my peer group. For this question, I'll say when a woman cat calls me, when a woman cat calls me as a man, because women do it as well, and not on the same level. I don't feel. I don't know the statistics, but I just feel in my heart men do it way more. Um, I think women, and I'll start with women, and there's a reason for that. I think women. I don't know many women that like to be catcalled. I know like zero, so I can't. I'm on the internet now, so people always think you're talking about every single individual, right? So I think most, not every single individual woman, does not like to be catcalled. Uh, those listening to this podcast, and in certain environments, let's say you with your girlfriends, you out at the bachelorette party, you're drinking, having a great time, and there's this good looking dude coming up, and you catcall him. In those moments, when that has happened to me, not the good looking dude part, but when those moments have happened to me, Uh, and I'm talking about like when a woman physically grabs me, like in my private areas, because it's happened on more than one occasion. Uh, I tell her off. I have no problem telling a woman off, not disrespectfully, but I definitely put my foot down. And I think in those moments, women realize, whoa, we could do it too. We could be at fault as well. And I say that because I don't want people listening, I don't want people to think that just because of your gender, you are absolved from it. That's not the case. From the men perspective, I think that one of the most powerful things a human could do uh, to get someone to listen is to be a part of that same group and you go against your group. So we're speaking in terms of catcalling and men. One of the most powerful things that I've seen to work is when, and for those other peers to realize what they're doing, because I think a lot of times it's not even a knowing. I think sometimes it's just literally that's the culture that you're coming up in, depending on where you're from, which is an issue, a big issue. I'm here in Mexico right now, and I'm learning Spanish, and there is multiple different nationalities here, and the culture is different. Everyone's different. I don't know if I should hug one person. I don't know what to do in certain. Not saying it's a bad thing. It's just I don't know what to do because of everyone's different culture. But here in North America, when men do it, I think that when another man in his same group, so he already has a respect level for that man, tells him off, that's when he realizes, oh, that's wrong. Hopefully he knows on his own, but I'm not talking about the guys that are just horrible because they probably will just never get it. I'm talking about the guys that are like the actual guys that, for the most part, they know what they're doing wrong. They just are thinking of subconsciously. They're not thinking fully. But when it's like politics, when somebody from your own party tells you stop being disrespectful to the other party, you kind of listen more. It's like when if your parents tell you something, you ain't listening because they're your parents. But when your sibling tells you, yo, you're being kind of mean to mom, it hits different, And so for me, when my boys, I love my peer group because we put each other in check all the time. It's like if we were to get out of a relationship, we'll be like, okay, well, what did you do wrong? We don't say what did she do wrong. We say what did you do wrong? That's my peer group. So I feel that when it comes to catcalling, somebody in that group has to step up and be a leader. Is that simple? Thank you for that. That's why, before even doing this, I posed the question to you guys because I can only do it if I can speak my truth. So I appreciate that. I think that it's not hard to come forward. I think that it's hard to be taken serious. Because what either gender or any gender, on average, not everybody, on average would say is, like I've known women to say, I literally have had multiple women, multiple different occasions that I've been groped, say, well, you should like it. I'm a grown ass man. I don't like no woman just grabbing my stuff when I'm at the bar or when I'm playing basketball. No. And so it's not that I feel like I can't come forward. It's that I feel that it's like when you have for example, you have a mental disorder. If it's not physical, can't nobody see it. So therefore we have to we have to believe you or not believe you. It's the same thing with a man coming forward about this topic. You may have not physically seen it, but if I come forward about it, you don't know how I feel about that. You don't know if I'm having anxiety about that. You don't know if I'm struggling with that. But I feel that I'm glad I'm able to speak here because it does happen to both genders. And I just want guys to know that, homie, we got you. We understand it happens. And I want women to know, I don't want that happening to you no more. I don't want you to do it to a guy either. This could happen to both genders, but I'm speaking mainly to the men on this one. I don't care if that woman is wearing a piece of cloth. I don't care if it's a postcard, a sticky note. I don't care what the heck she's wearing, or if she's wearing a full-on comforter. That's for her enjoyment. It's not for you to read that as a sign that says, grab me, kiss me, touch me here. I can't emphasize that enough. I think you have to know someone's heart for someone to receive the accountability. That makes sense. If I don't know your heart, if I don't know the place that you're coming from, I can care less what you say. If I know your heart, I know that you're coming from a place of care. I know that you're going to love me no matter what I do, but you're going to love me, and because of love, you're going to tell me when I'm wrong. I think that has to be established first. Uh, but with that being said, I am it depends on the person, honestly. And with my friends, my male friends that I know we're in our little group chat every day, I will be as harsh as can be to them because that's our love language, I guess you could say. That's how we understand each other best, right? And I think that's a big thing, a big key right there is everyone listens different. Everyone, hears you different, right? With my homeboys in my group chats, we come each other harsh, right? People reading it might say, "Oh my God, do you hate each other?" No, that's just how we love each other. It's like a lot of people talk crap about each other all the time. I can't talk crap about you, but you and your friends can about each other. And so I think the biggest thing is to know that person. But if I don't have a great understanding of who they are, I've done it on TV, I do it all the time, come direct at that person. I confront them face to face, normally when no one else is around, because no one wants to be disrespected, even the person that disrespected somebody, because our first brain is to defend ourselves. So normally I'll say, hey, Sophie, can we go walk away, please? And we go walk, and then I confront you directly. And then if I feel that I'm too aggressive, then I'll start to pose questions in comparison to statements.